What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I finally got to experience the hype that is Blue Lock Volume 1. Now, Blue Lock is a series that I've been hearing about for a little over a year myself. Of course, by now, at the time I'll be recording this, there's an anime coming out in October. So of course the hype and everything has just been building and building. And so I am a fan of sports series. So of course I love, Kuroko's basketball, Haikyuu. I've been really enjoying Aoashi and so things of that nature. So with Blue Lock, all I really knew about it, of course, going into it was just like, hey, of course this is soccer and something about a bunch of people competing for a certain position. But what I didn't expect is basically, from my perspective, this is like a sports, it's like an action, psychological type of series. So backing up a little bit, so Blue Lock, the physical version is published by Kodansha, and the story is written by Muyanuki Kaneshiro, and the art is done by Yusuke Nomura. So, yeah. So, with this first volume, a couple of things that just immediately got my attention was the potential. So actually, going beyond what I've heard on other people's podcasts and just general discussions online, actually getting a chance to see for myself what this Blue Lock facility is. So I guess let me back up a little bit for a general synopsis for anybody that's like, Robert, what is Blue Lock? You're just talking, you're not telling us what it is. So Blue Lock, the series itself, basically follows, basically it is 300 of the best high school players who get invited to this facility called Blue Lock, and they're basically competing to become the next top striker, because this organization is basically trying to find what they feel is the last missing piece so that Japan can win a World Cup. So, because basically they want to go beyond just, oh, hey, we qualified and we made it into the conversation, or we made it to the playoffs or whatever, so to speak. It is like, no, we want to actually win. And so one thing I'll say is that just like the players in the series, the way the story goes, we all get pulled in, roped into this unexpectedly and quickly. So the main character, let me find his name. Yoichi Asagi. Main character here, also on the front cover, of course. So basically his team was in a match to see who would go to play the big match at Nationals. And so he basically has a huge moment that not many athletes get a chance to experience. So final seconds, they're down by 1 point. They're down 1-0. And so he has a shot at taking to try to score on the goal, but he sees off to the side that, oh, my teammate's open, maybe I should pass it to him and he might be able to score. Well, he passes it, his teammate doesn't score, and the other team gets the ball, scores, and they lose. And so of course he's beating himself up of like, man, like what if I would have been the one to take that shot? And so basically he ends up, when he gets home, he's telling his parents like, hey, we didn't win. And I appreciate that, even though his parents, they have no clue or interest in soccer, but I do like the fact that they are somewhat supportive. Like, hey, they're paying for him to do sports and stuff, and it's like, hey, he wants to do this, so we'll support him. But his parents give him like, hey, this letter came in the mail for you, and it was an invitation to basically what we later find out was the Blue Lock Project. But it is just so wild how like all 300 of these kids with no additional context just get an invitation to this facility, and basically when they get there, they are told like, hey, if you decide to do this, then this will be your life from now for the next, I think it's like 6 months to a year. I think 6 months. Basically, it's like, hey, you will be living here. Whatever you got going on with your personal teams and family life, whatever, is done. And so, of course, the kids are freaking out, yelling like, yo, hey, because like some of the kids are like, hey, my team, we're about to go to nationals, or hey, what about my family, yada, yada, yada. And the head guy of the facility, he's basically like, who cares? If you were wanting to be the best, this is where you need to be. This is where your focus needs to be at right now. Because nothing else matters. Like, hey, who cares about your silly high school game? We're trying to win the World Cup. This is bigger than anything else that matters right now. And so, yeah, they kind of just get this presentation or whatever. And so all 300 of the kids ended up agreeing and going into it or whatever, but it's just like, hey, full isolation. They take their phones, their wallets, everything. And it's like, hey, you were just in this facility and you'll be training. And so they are split up. So the Blue Lock facility, the way it is split up, and let me see if I can get a good picture to show y'all. So you can kind of see here how he is explaining how they're split up. So, 1 through 5, and then each alphabet letter like B through Z. And so that's how they're split up. And so our main character, he is sent to block 5, Team Z. So he's like second to last ranking, because so they all get uniforms and stuff passed out to them or whatever, and all the uniforms have a letter and then a number on it. He is number 299, so he is second to dead last in this competition. And just seeing the setup of stuff like that, of like, okay, hey, knowing like, okay, that's what made me excited to continue to read this and for the potential of this, of knowing, okay, hey, he is close to the bottom of the barrel of 300 people, and he's also in Z. So that just goes to show like, okay, the competition, the people he got to go against to reach the top is going to be something fierce. And that is exciting for me. I like that. For those who might be watching this for the first time, have no other clue or context of who I am. So as the channel is called, Danny to Talk, I am a father of 5. Most of my kids do sports, and they compete at a very high level. Currently they do track and basketball, and they compete at a very high level. And so also myself being a former athlete growing up, and now, like I said, with my kids playing sports and stuff, I think that just makes me appreciate series like Blue Lock, and not just the fact of them, going into the various games and aspects of the sport, but with Blue Lock, seeing that, hey, we're going to tap into the psychological portion of this and kind of get into the mindset of how these kids, how these players are going to think and to act in everything going forward. And so they're in this first volume alone, there's already been a couple of like things that they've done to try to like eliminate some of the players and dwindle down numbers and stuff. The first thing that they did was play a game of tag, which was interesting to see. And this, like I said, this first volume alone, I'm excited for the anime coming out in a few months. Just to see even just this little small taste I've gotten to see this animated, and best believe I'm gonna have to free up some time to continue to read this, because like I said, this isn't you know, this isn't the typical aspect of sports series. Like I said, I am, like I said, I am definitely more curious about the psychological realm that this might go, especially with, you know, some of the characters. And what I'm showing right now in the video, this is all of the 11 players in our main character's core little group. But yeah, and the volume kind of ends off setting up some team competitions. So I'm very curious to see like how that's going to play out with all these people who pretty much play the same position, having to figure out amongst themselves, okay, how to play as a cohesive unit. And also just know like, hey, there's gonna be some times, like they explained in this, was like there's gonna be some times to where y'all are working together as a team, and there's gonna be other times where y'all are competing. And so basically every day or every time there's a competition, whatever, is an opportunity for you to move up your number. And the way your number is also determines the quality of the food that you get. And so seeing what these people in the bottom of Z have, it just makes you wonder, like, man, like what are the kids at the top of the top in number 1B, what are they eating? But also like, what type of monsters await you know, as we continue to move forward. I also really appreciate what is her name, the kind of like head lady that is one of the people, Henri, who is kind of heading up this project, like her. And then like I said, the kind of crazy guy who is a Jim Pacho Ego, him, the guy who's actually like leading the training and stuff, whatever. Yeah, so those two characters alone, as well as this other character that kind of shows up towards the end of the volume. Yeah, I am just very excited to see this. But like I said, just like the surprise and excitement. I don't know if I could have done it, and I don't know how I would react as a parent now if one of my kids got an invitation of like, hey, we're going to take your kid away from you for 6 months to go to this crazy basketball camp or track camp or whatever thing to try to train them to be the best of the best. So I don't know how I would react to that. I don't know if I would be able to let my kid do it, you know. Now if it's like, hey, a 1 week training camp, sure. But it's like 6 months. The rest of your life, just give it up. I don't know, man. But we shall see how this all progresses. But like I said, this was I'm very happy to have finally been able to read this for myself now. And like I said, I am definitely a believer of all of the great things I have been hearing for months and months. Did not disappoint. And so yeah, it's going to be exciting times coming up, like I said, as I continue to try to read this myself, and then once the anime drops. So, but enough of me rambling. But thanks for tuning in and listening and or watching. Make sure to leave your thoughts below. Let me know what you think. Have you checked out Blue Lock yet? If you are, let me know what your thoughts are of the series. And yeah, like I said, that season 1 of the anime is coming out in October. So one of many big bangers coming out later this year. But thanks for watching. And as I always say, treat yourself to something nice. Buy some manga. Watch some anime and TV. Play some video games. And live your best life. And with that, your boy is out. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.